Hi everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Anna, and you're listening to We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, a podcast hosted by us, a married couple with an endless love for TV.
Whether you're looking for a new show to binge or wanting to revisit an old classic, let us be your guide through the infinite list of TV shows.
So come join us every Friday as we discuss the pilot for a TV show while also sharing personal stories that parallel the storylines.
We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, where your new favorite show is just one click away. Hello everyone, welcome back to our pod.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Happy Monday.
Happy
it's
Monday.
Not a Friday.
I know, we are recording ahead of time. We have a busy month ahead of us, and we literally cannot do what we normally do. And we shouldn't be doing it anyway. We need to start having a backlog of episodes just so we can have more time to edit and prepare, and also
not be stressed.
Not be stressed, and not always like doing it the day of and kind of always doing it under the gun. But anyway, so this is going to be this month has just kind of flown by. I can already believe this is going to be our last episode of November.
Yep.
And we are finishing up our TV shows that have first names in the title. We are having another full circle moment. We began with one. We're going to end with one. Yes, that was intentional. Yes, that's how I planned it.
Yes.
So with According to Jim, we were completing the Courtney Thorne-Smith trilogy of TV, although she continued being on TV after According to Jim. Those were her three big ones that she was like a series regular on. And today we are finishing, unfortunately, it has to be on this show, but, I mean, honestly, maybe now we could technically do a series finale for And Just Like That, so
yeah,
whenever we want to do that. But we are completing the Sex and the City universe, I guess. I don't think this show is canon, but we are doing the Carrie Diaries. We are completing our Sex and the City-esque universe of shows, and
the sort of prequel to Sex and the City.
Yeah. So if we were ever to get a critique about our podcast, I don't think we're at that level where people are just giving their serious critique of this podcast. We're not getting comments or messages.
We're not doing super deep dives into like all of the like.
This is for fun. We do this because we love talking, and why not just record it and eternalize it, because why not?
Yeah.
And we just have a great time doing it. Yeah. And we have a great time discovering all these shows, getting reacquainted with shows.
Well, just bringing up stories and
also getting to know each other more. I mean, like we always think we know everything about our partner, and then you do a podcast with them and you hear insane stories, hilarious stories, sad stories, all of that. But if we were to have a fan base that was critical of us, I would say the one critique that they would probably give us is we kind of go too easy on these shows.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to our like critique of it. Maybe we are always just a little too positive, because what I consider to be a great show, the person next to me could think it's the worst show they've ever seen. And in fact, we have these conversations all the time. Anybody who says, I can't follow Stranger Things, I don't understand you. But so many people say it, so obviously they're right in their own way, because it's their opinion and it's how they view it. So we like to be very neutral for the most part.
Well, even in our friend group, we don't agree.
Right.
So,
on the podcast, we feel like we have to be... Sorry, I didn't specify that. On the podcast, we feel like we have to be more neutral towards these shows, because unless we really hated it, which I don't know has really happened. I know there have been shows we didn't like. There have been a couple shows we didn't like. There have been a couple shows where we like, no, I would not keep watching this, but... Or
that we've revisited and we're like, we only watched it because this was the only thing on TV at the time.
Right,
like, a lot of the 70s shows or 80s shows.
But I can probably say for this episode, I'm not going to have a lot of positive things to say.
Oh, okay.
Just as I became a Sex and the City fan when you introduced the show to me. Yes, I'd seen episodes before. I was very aware of the show. My mom and my sister watched it. I had seen episodes on my own. I did think it was a funny show, but I never really got into it. Learned the lore, learned the backstory, all of that. But with being with you and watching the episode with you, you really kind of got me into it. And just like that, I feel like you and I experienced that together because we were watching it for the first time together. And that was fun because then you got to tell me, oh, it's funny that she said this because in Sex and the City this happened. And I'm like, oh, let's watch that episode. Okay, let's watch that episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what happened. And so I consider myself a Sex and the City fan now. And watching this, we'll kind of get more into it, but like, I don't think neither one of us were very impressed.
I was only upset because I kept finding anomalies between
we're gonna have a discussion
canon Sex and the City
right.
and this show. I was like,
don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
I got a list for us.
Yeah.
I got a quote from the showrunner, and so we're gonna get into all that. And maybe we'll find some positive stuff to say about it, but in the meantime, I'm kind of going into this being like, it's been a really long time since we've recorded an episode, and right before, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna have anything nice to say.
all right.
All right, so let's get into it. We're doing the Carrie Diaries. It's the pilot, and Anna's gonna give us some episode and series information.
All right, The Carrie Diaries pilot. The Carrie Diaries is an American teen comedy drama that aired on the CW from January 14th, 2013 to January 31st, 2014. The series ran for 2 seasons and has a total of 26 episodes. The series was developed by Amy B. Harries, who worked as a producer on Sex and the City. The pilot was also written by Harris, and was directed by Miguel Arteta, who directed episodes for shows such as Freaks and Geeks, The Office, and Ugly Betty. The Carrie Diaries serves as a prequel to the hit show Sex and the City. The series shows us a teenaged version of Carrie Bradshaw living in Connecticut with her father.
Yep.
Carrie's dad gets an internship at a law firm in New York City as a part-time gig. Having zero interest in working for corporate America, Carrie decides to pursue her true passions, fashion and writing, and secretly gets a job working for a fashion magazine. The series stars Anna Sophia Robb as Carrie Bradshaw, a 16-year-old extrovert with a bubbly personality, Austin Butler as Sebastian Kidd, Carrie's love interest and fellow classmate at school.
So crazy to see him in this. That was crazy.
He was like a bebe. Yeah.
Looking all Court Overstreet.
Yeah. Ellen Wong as Jill Mouse Chen, Carrie's intelligent but shy best friend. Katie Finley as Maggie Landers, Carrie's loyal and tough other best friend. Stephania Levy Owen as Dorit Bradshaw, or is it Dorit Bradshaw?
It's Dorit.
Dorit. I want to say Dorit from Real Housewives. Yeah. Carrie's rebellious younger sister, Brendan Dooling as Walt Reynolds, Carrie's kind, caring, close best friend. Chloe Bridges as Donna LaDonna, the most popular girl at Carrie's school and her frenemy. Freema Agayaman as Larissa Laughlin, the style editor of Interview magazine, who acts as Carrie's mentor. Matt Lechler as Tom Bradshaw, Carrie's overprotective father. Despite being a prequel to one of the most popular shows of all time, The Carrie Diaries received mixed reviews. Most critics and fans praised Robb for her portrayal of Carrie Bradshaw, but the biggest criticism came from the fans, who point out the continuity issues between both shows. The Carrie Diaries is not considered canon to Sex and the City universe and mostly serves as a standalone series. When Lindsay Gort joined the show in season 2 as a young Samantha Jones, the series received more praise and began to receive more favorable reviews. Despite improving during their second season, the series had low viewership and was canceled. You can currently watch the series on Tubi.
So the term frenemy has always been interesting to me. I don't know, did Sex and the City kind of coin that phrase, or did it kind of already exist? Okay, I don't know.
It existed. It was actually the title of an episode.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Where all of the girls are struggling with their relationships with one another. It's an episode, actually, originally, I know you have a question here, where Charlotte and Samantha are fighting because Charlotte's a prude, Samantha's overly sexual, so Charlotte is struggling in her marriage, and she meets with her old sorority sisters for lunch, and she's talking about wanting to have sex, and they're like, Charlotte, like, we don't talk about that. And she's just like, what? Like, in her mind, probably like, that is what your girlfriends are for.
Yeah.
And then Samantha goes and meets a woman at the mall or at a boutique and goes out with her to a restaurant. And that woman proceeds to give oral sex to a younger guy at the table,
right,
at the restaurant that they're at. And Samantha's like, whoa, I'm all about, freedom of sex and whatever, but that's too much. And then Carrie and Miranda are also fighting just about their relationships with men and the going back to men, or, I'm better than you because I can forget a man easier than you. And they both realize that they actually, those are not the cases. It's you need your friends. So
it was like Samantha had a little bit of Charlotte in her, and Charlotte had a little bit of Samantha in her, and they just never clicked that.
Correct.
Like made that connection with each other. Yeah, I remember that episode. Because I remember the old Southern lady giving that dude head in the middle of the restaurant, and Samantha was like, and the other guy thought he was gonna get the same from Samantha. She's just like, nah, I'm out of here.
No,
that's a really funny episode. Actually, the moment you said that, I'm like, that's actually one of the episodes of Sex and the City I saw a long time ago when my mom and my sister had the DVDs, and I always remembered that because of that scene. I'm just like, oh my god, it was really funny, but it was just like you just remember the random things. So I know. Have you ever had like a frenemy? I mean, you don't have to like obviously name names.
I actually,
just in case, but
I don't think so.
Yeah,
because I feel like I've always been pretty open, and with my friends, I don't think I would really ever necessarily hang out with someone that I wasn't really a true friend to. So I'm trying to think of how they defined it in the TV show.
Yeah, so how I think much like any type of relationship, there are different types within that like title of a frenemy. I'm sure that there are different types of frenemies. The way I always view it is someone who, for me, a frenemy was always someone that was like in my friend group that I was kind of like forced in a way to hang out with because we were in the same friend group, and I just didn't like them, and we didn't like each other, but we kind of like put on, we tolerated each other, but we didn't like each other. Whereas I think what people commonly think of as frenemy is people that overtly pretend to be friends to each other's faces but actually hate each other behind each other's back. I think that's how it's perceived on TV. Kind of like with Donna talking to Carrie, being like, oh, if you ever need me, just call me, like, talking about like her mom dying, and it just came across as very fake, but in reality, like, they don't like each other. Like, that's how I've always viewed a frenemy. I mean, that's how the TV shows have always kind of done it, but I see the dictionary.
So it is defined as, and it comes from the 50s, so they did not revolutionize.
That checks out.
It's with a person with whom one is friendly despite a fundamental dislike or rivalry.
Okay.
I guess, I mean, I can see that. I kind of like your boy definition of that, because like, I don't think guys tend to naturally have a frenemy, whereas I think sometimes girls do that a lot, sadly, like particularly in a place like high school. Like, you're with these people all day, every day of the week, and so you kind of are just friends with them because it's easier than being their enemy,
right, and
having them against you. So I'm sure I probably did. I think a lot of them come, if I can give one. And if she's listening, she will actually laugh now. And I've talked about her before on the pod. Her name is Kelly. She is my high school friend that lives in Bay St. Louis, where we were kind of in the situation that you just referenced. Was we were all the F gang in high school, and we all hung out at the Ben Franklin F. It was a big stone. And we were only friends in high school because all of our friends we were all friends with the same friend group.
Yeah.
We just did not get along. cut to 25, 30 years later in life, and I now actually consider her a close friend. We were chatting on like instant message today. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, yes, but an outward enemy, I don't feel like I would hang out. What's ironic is like, I have joked to Kelly, I was like, I don't even know why we didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like we ever dated the same guys. Like, she might have gone to a dance with the guy I dated, Patrick. But as I have mentioned several times, Patrick and I were just the quintessential of like troubled Romeo and Juliet. Like, we just were never a couple. Mm-hmm. It was just more of both of us traumatizing one another in high school. But again, I didn't dislike Kelly because of that, because I don't feel like I was ever like threatened by Kelly. And I don't mean that I think I'm better than Kelly. I just never thought like, oh, I'm worried, like, you know, that I'm going to lose any friends or guys because of her. So I don't know, but she is the only one that I could truly think of, like, in that friend group. Sorry, I'm rambling as usual, but
that's why we're doing a podcast.
But yeah, I mean, in sorority life, college, law school, no, not really. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were people that probably again, college is small as well. I went to a small college. There was one kind of story, and this was something that's kind of jokingly political. I had randomly, like, there was one girl that was going to run for student government vice president, to be like the student vice president of campus, and she was running unopposed. And so I was just like, oh, maybe someone should run against her. And someone was like, why don't you run against her? You would get a lot of votes because you're in Greek life. She is not in Greek life. And so I had just randomly decided to run. Mm-hmm. And so some of her friends actually posted one of her campaign banners outside of my dorm room, like literally right next to my window. And I just felt like that was just a too close of a personal attack. Like, I couldn't believe she had done that, or people in her campaign. And I mean, we all knew each other. We were all on student government together. So it was like, I knew who she was. She knew who I was. And so, like, that example to me, like, startled me. And I actually dropped out of the race. And she had, like, I think, like, I'm not going to say, I don't think she called me. Maybe she saw me at like the student government office, and like, she actually apologized for it. She was just like, I heard about what they did. I'm really sorry. I hope that's not the reason that you dropped out of the race. And I was like, actually it is. I'm not blaming you if it was your campaign guys that were putting up your posters and stuff. I said, but that's not why I run. And, you know, I said I was really running because I've always thought about running. I've always been very active and stuff. But if that's what it was going to be like in this campaign, and if I actually got the office and be treated by people who I actually thought were sort of friends, I don't need those kind of friends, and I don't need that kind of campaign. And so she got it. I dropped out, and she ran unopposed, I believe. And I stayed on student government. Lisa was on student government with me, and, we supported her. But, I remember she came up and apologized to me and was like, I'm sorry that they did that, and I never would have done that. And so, frenemy sounds good, but it can also not be great. So, right. Yeah. Sorry.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling per usual. So
you've literally been talking for 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. It sounds like a long time. Sorry to all the listeners.
You're telling a story. That's why we're doing a podcast.
Yeah. Sorry. You can delete all that. But yeah, so
I will not. I refuse.
Oh, do not cut. So yeah, frenemies, they can be part of your group, but I do feel like it can be a toxic thing. Like, it can grow to that.
Well, I think that it's not as bad as like I feel like a frenemy is obviously that's why it's a ship name. It's the combination of a friend and an enemy.
Yeah.
It's not someone that you don't actively hate. I mean,
Correct.
It's someone that you don't. To me, it's like it's someone that you just like tolerate because you have to.
Yes.
And that's always been my kind of thing. So I had a really big friend group in high school, especially like 11th and 12th grade was really kind of the full formation of the friend group, and it was a lot. Yes, bros indeed. It was a lot of guys, and the thing about it was that anytime a new girl was integrated into the group, there were certain guys who thought that meant, oh, this is going to be my new girlfriend, or like this is going to be my girlfriend now. Like they're like those guys that just immediately they see a girl and they're just like, I need a girlfriend. I need to be with this girl. Like they just couldn't chill around girls. Like I think that was what I mean. And anytime a girl was integrated in a group, it would just turn into puffing her chest out, and it was really annoying. And there were a couple of guys that like just didn't know how to control it, and they didn't know how to like kind of take a hint and back off.
Like if the girl was rejecting them,
right,
or like
it was like, oh, she's just playing hard to get, or like, oh, she'll like me once she gets to knows me, or she's a tease, or she led me on, or whatever. It will turn into something like that when the girl showed no interest from the very beginning.
Right.
So I started dating a girl. She had like kind of just been integrated into the group. She was friends with the other girls in the group, but she hadn't like hung out with anyone yet. And I've been friends with her all throughout high school. So and then we started dating towards the end of high school. And so when she started hanging out, there was this one very specific guy in our group that anytime a girl was first introduced, he would like run right to her and like try and be like that guy for her. And he was one of those guys, one of those people. It's not just a guy thing; it's a girl thing too. One of those people that like just didn't know how to approach the opposite sex. Like he just didn't understand that like when you reach a certain age, certain things just aren't okay anymore because you should know better. And what he would do is that he would do the thing where like and this dude's like 18, 19 years old. Let me just preface this. Like he's technically like he should know better, or he should do better. A better way to say it. He would like do the thing where he would like take a girl's hat and like run away.
Oh my god.
So she would like chase after him. Like
he was
they're
8?
like he was like exactly like we're in elementary school and he's just starting to like learn about girls. And so I came to this party. The girl that I was dating was already there, and she's wearing a hat. I dated a hat girl, and
I wore hats.
I'm just being stupid. She was wearing a hat. It was her granddad's or something like that. And the moment I walk up to the party, she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey!" And as soon as she walks up to me, he takes the hat and then like runs away.
Oh my god!
And then she run because she'd been drinking, so she was having a good time. It wasn't like I was mad at her about anything. She was just getting to know everyone, and she just wanted to have fun, and she was with the new friend group, and so she's just kind of going along with stuff. And so she goes and chases after him. I'm like, I have to fucking deal with this all night now. And so he kind of became my frenemy because even after when he found out we were dating, like when he officially found out we were dating, it was like he had gotten broken up with or something like that.
God.
Like he like the look on his face. And I'm just like, we were dating when you were stealing her hat and running away, dude. So we kind of both just kind of stopped liking each other. And then once he kind of showed like his true colors, I was like, okay, I don't really like this guy. But we're in the same friend group. So, and any social function that I went to, if one of our friends' bands were playing or we were going out, we're meeting for drink or whatever, like, or a house party, like he was going to be there. So it was like, I kind of just had to deal with it, but he was just never like cool around us. Like he just always had to make things weird. he would do this thing every now and then when he would drink, and then he would start talking about our relationship, and then he would try to do the whole like I met her first thing.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, no, dude, I've known her since 9th grade. Like
it kind of reminds me of like Superstore when he's like, I've got dibs on Amy.
Yeah.
And you're like, you cannot claim a person.
You can't call dibs on a human.
You can't call dibs on a human. Just what?
It was.
Where's that logic?
It was very much one of those like someone that you're friends with when you're younger, and as you get older, you realize that the only thing you had in common was your friend group, and you really don't have anything else in common. So it wasn't necessarily that we like actually didn't like each other. We just weren't compatible friends, but we were in the same friend group, so we had to kind of tolerate each other. But every time he spoke, I wanted to just go, ugh. I just wanted like every time I wanted to be like that person every time he spoke.
Kind of like what do you call it, like audience like backtrack or like audience laugh track, but it's ugh track.
Oh yeah, if I had the power, I would boo people all the time. But like if I could get away with it, I would have a boo track every time he like started speaking, and then every time he did a joke, do a really sarcastic loud laugh, which I probably did a couple times. But yeah, so that's one. And then I would say one other one, and I really can't get into too much specifics. Maybe I can. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what the story comes. How the story comes out.
How does it evolve?
So this is another person that was in my friend group, but I was actually actually friends with him. I considered him a really good friend of mine, but the thing about him was that he was and still is a very intelligent person. Kind of had this I'm smarter than everyone attitude that he didn't do to us, like his close friends, that often, but he would every now and then. And it just kind of always irked me and always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And he came from he was like a spoiled little brat. He was just like but he like did the whole, and I'm making fun of myself when I say stuff like this, but like he did the whole like I come from a rich family, but I'm going to wear all black and try and piss them off. Like that kind of whole, I'm going to grow my hair out, wear baggy jeans so I can piss off my conservative rich parents. And he like was just someone that like another case of the older we got, the more I was just like, God, I don't like you. I was like, God, I'm really just starting to like you less and less every time we're together. But then he also, over the course of a few years, would date all of my ex-girlfriends. And so I don't think it was anything personal against me. I don't think he was like, I'm going to ruin Jeff's life and date all of his exes.
That's not what he was intending, but it just seemed to be a path.
But probably. It was just like, you're making me, the case of me not liking you, you're not helping. Like,
correct, right. It just so happens.
You're making it worse, in fact. And so it's just like, because I can't, it's weird to be around someone. I don't know, the most unrealistic thing about How I Met Your Mother is how Barney, Ted, and Robin could all remain friends after all of them sleeping and dating each other. And it's just like, yeah, you can't do that in real life. It's awkward and it's weird. And he did it twice. And so it was just like, okay. And that was more of like, I actively don't like you. I think that's a good, two good comparisons. Because one, I was just kind of tolerating him. He just kind of got on my nerves, but he was harmless. This one was like going after my exes. So it wasn't, as I've gotten older, I've become to realize that it wasn't personal towards me. I just obviously took it personal. I think most people would. I don't think that I was also young and, very dramatic about stuff. So now I look back on it and I'm just like, yeah, you just weren't helping yourself out. But I kind of another thing where we were in the same friend group, but he was like really close to my friend group. The other one kind of, he, by the time I was like 19 or something like that, he wasn't really like around that much. But this one, I still sometime, not anymore, but like it's been a while, but like we've remained in each other's lives until we were like in our 30s. And so it was like, but every time we were around each other, even though all this time had passed, I'm just like, God, I don't like you. I'm just like, God, I don't like you. But I have to, like, we have to, and we have to remain friends. So that's my definition of a frenemy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'll ask you a question while we're doing the plot summary. And before we get into the plot summary, something that we have both brought up is a little thing called retcon. A little bit of rewriting the past. And with the Carrie Diaries, there are a whole lot of continuity errors. And what's interesting is that the showrunner, Amy Harris, I have a quote actually. She said, this is a quote from Amy Harris, the showrunner of Carrie Diaries. I had to tell a version of the story I thought I could write for not just one episode, but for many. We debated a lot about whether or not to include anything about Carrie's family backstory in Sex and the City, and we mentioned once on Sex and the City that the father had left. It didn't feel like the right version to me because the story felt more complicated than a parent leaving. And Candace Bushnell's version, with Carrie's mom dying in the book, really spoke to me. The idea that she had a good relationship with her father, which is why she's looking for a certain type of man. So this is actually more based on Candace Bushnell than it is Carrie Bradshaw. Why they never divided that up and specified, probably just as a plot device and to ride the wave of Sex and the City, obviously. Very interesting. But yeah, so the big differences, and there are a whole lot.
Yes.
All right. So in Sex and the City, Carrie's dad left her and her mother, correct?
Yes.
Okay. She never mentions having a sister.
Never. Not once.
In Carrie Diaries, she comes from a wealthy family and goes to a prep school. In Sex and the City, I think you said she came from a normal kind of middle working class.
Yeah.
She had a single mom.
And she talks about having sex in the basement, like on a ping pong table was how she lost her virginity in high school or something. Not that she can't be rich for that,
right.
But she sounds like she had a very middle class.
And in the show, she doesn't lose her virginity until she's like 18 or 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
When she's much older. And it's like in New York. Okay, so in the second Sex and the City film, Carrie and Miranda, Carrie and Miranda reveal that they met. No, sorry, Charlotte and Miranda, I meant to write that. Charlotte and Miranda reveal that they met Carrie before Samantha, but in the Carrie Diaries, she meets Samantha first. In Sex and the City, Carrie went to New York for the first time when she moved there at age 21. You were correct about that.
Yep.
In Carrie Diaries, she goes to Manhattan for the first time at age 16 and lived there at age 17. Carrie was born in 1966 in Sex and the City, but her being 16 in 1984 in Carrie Diaries means she was born in 1968. Maybe 1967 if she turned 17 that fall.
Yeah.
That's just from the first episode.
Right.
So who knows?
That and she has access to all this fashion and stuff at a very young age, where, part of, I think, Carrie's Sex in the City in the TV show and movies, it comes from her not having the ability to buy it unless it's on credit and whatnot. So yeah, it just is all very kind of disjointed to me. Watching it, I was jolted first off by the father, you know, that whole situation. But yeah, so those were some of the big ones, and those were things that I identified on my own.
Immediately.
I was that's not true.
Yeah.
Who's the sister? Just it was very jolting because I know a lot of my Sex and the City lore pretty intensely.
You're I would say you are I would say expert level. I would say your Sex and the City. Anytime I have a question, you've always had an answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's interesting is the retcon, which is just it's called retroactive continuity.
Yeah.
Short retcon. That is when a TV show or some type of film or TV show revises already established information.
Correct.
Ages, family members, events. What's interesting is that, I think because there was this mindset for so long in TV that, people are going to watch this episode once and that's it. I think that's what a lot of people back then, and not that long ago either. Streaming and everything being on streaming is still a very new thing. And it's just interesting to kind of go back, and it's because retcons are a part of just about every single TV show. When I was looking at the list of TV shows that have the most famous retcons, every TV show, every list has different TV shows because there are so many. You have a show like Friends that constantly kind of there was the one topic where it said Friends. No one in Friends remembers anything that used to happen because they contradict so many things that were already established earlier about like their past or a family connection. Early in series, maybe a character will have like a brother or a sister that will just disappear. There's Chuck Cunningham? Was a famous one. I think he was like just in the first episode.
Well, even in Just Like That, Charlotte has a brother in Sex and the City, and we never hear about him in Just Like That ever.
And even in Just Like That, in the beginning of the story, is it Lisa Todd
Wexley?
Her dad's already dead, and then in the season 3 he dies again.
Yeah, everyone was like, didn't he already die?
And that's current, and that's in the world of streaming. Yeah, and then there's like when they like age up a baby in a sitcom, like when like Brian Bronsel in Family Ties or Nikki and Alex in Full House.
Well, I think I've told you that one became famous in soap operas. It's called SORAS. It's soap opera rapid aging syndrome.
Oh, that's funny.
It was to be able to create new characters, not new characters because they were already on the show, but new storylines with those characters. So like they will have had a baby the next year. They were like not a toddler, but like elementary school. Then all of a sudden they're part of the high school gang, and then they're all like in college and in the professional world in under 5 years. So that one was, I believe, a real big soap opera trope of doing.
And I think in Boy Meets World, I think Sean has like 8 different siblings that they reestablish, take back. In season 1 he has in season 1 he has a sister. In season like 3, he has a half brother. Neither one of them are ever mentioned again. And then in season 5, they Matthew Lawrence was introduced to the show, and that was his other half brother. And the way how far apart they were, so close in age, where I was like, how is that possible? How did they live together at one point? And like none of it made sense. I was like, none of it ever made sense. And then there's the famous Donna, Laura Prepon's character in That 70s Show, had a sister in season 1 and then just disappears, never hear from her again.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then you have kids that are in the family that the main characters that like Judy Winslow in Family Matters, who just disappears after like season 2 or something like that. Or the youngest son in Step by Step, who completely disappears, and then they age up Suzanne Summers when they have a baby. They age her up because they replace the youngest son with her. Oh, okay. So it was just crazy that like, I don't know, people just didn't think that we were gonna notice.
Well, I mean, it's obviously the very famous, and this is actor versus actor. It's with like Bewitched with Dick Sargent and Sergeant York, that was the husband of Bewitched. Samantha. Tabitha was their daughter. They actually looked a whole lot alike, but everyone was like, but they're not the same. Like they're alike, but not. Do you think we not notice? So, I'm sure this kind of stuff has to happen all the time. All right,
let's get into the plot summary.
Let's do it.
And then I have another question for you.
All right, and just like that, we're back to another plot summary. Oh, okay, another question. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so the Carrie Diaries plot summary. It's 1984 in Castleberry, Connecticut. Just want to tell everyone I can never remember how to spell Connecticut, so I wrote CT anytime Connecticut is mentioned in here. Connecticut's one of those words that makes me feel dumb every time I try to spell it.
Connecticut.
I know, and that's what I always think. And then somewhere along the way, I add an I that doesn't belong there, or an E that doesn't belong there, and it's like Connecticut. I'm just like, Jeff, all right. I'm a great speller, just certain words. All right. 16-year-old Carrie Bradshaw is a teenager living with her dad and her younger sister Dorrit. Carrie is an aspiring writer and dreams of living in Manhattan. So in the opening sequence, they kind of have a very Sex in the City, slow-mo, walking through, and then, I tripped over something, very Carrie Bradshaw. Life at home has been rough for Carrie. Her mom passed away a few months ago, and her dad has become distant, and I want to say Dorit too.
I know.
And Dorit is beginning to rebel by sneaking out of the house at night and smoking pot. Carrie is stressed out because it's her first day of school and she doesn't have anything to wear. She wanted to bring her mom's favorite purse to school, but can't find it. Carrie insists that Dorit stole it. She tells her dad that picking out a first day of school outfit was a tradition her and her mother had. Carrie's dad decides to let her go through her mom's closet to pick out something of hers. She picks out a pair of designer sunglasses. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of ask you this question now.
Yes.
Because it's kind of a thing throughout the whole episode is kind of the whole idea of letting go. Partially a part of grieving is letting go of certain things and letting go of the past and moving on with your life while honoring the memory of your past loved ones. Both of your parents, unfortunately, sadly, have passed away.
Yes.
Is there anything of theirs that was there something of theirs that was hard for you to let go of? And is there still something of theirs that you can't let go of?
Oh, I have a lot of things of theirs that I haven't let go of. I mean, in fact, I wore one of my mom's brooches just yesterday. Yeah. So, I mean, I have a lot of my mom's jewelry and stuff. I have a lot of stuff from our house, like my parents' trunk that was at the end of their bed. It's in the guest room. I have our door from our house that
I love it. Yeah.
It's actually like now just like a piece of art in our house.
People always ask about it. People always love seeing it.
Yeah. As for things like, if the house burned down, would I have been upset if something I couldn't have taken with it? Maybe, but I've particularly now in my older age, I've really come to terms of letting go of stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously the garage needs a lot of work in that area, but as you know, I've been on this purging tear in the house and so I honor my mom by wearing like little brooches of hers or for my dad, it's obviously much harder because I was 20 when he passed away. But I have lots of things of his, like I have his cook's jacket. It's in the garage. I have his glasses. I have his last pair of glasses that he wore. I have his wallet. But there's not a whole lot of my dad's. My sister actually has a lot. I have a lot of like pieces of art that my dad got. I have some African masks. I have some African heads that he got on a trip. We have 4 sets of wooden spoons on the wall. 3 are ones that I purchased, but the middle ones on the wall behind you are the ones we had in our house. Gotcha. Just so you know that those are OGs from our house. The other 3 sets I have purchased. Gotcha. I have letters. I would actually say like handwriting of both of my parents are very distinctive. Their humor is found more in those things. And so just one of my dad's letters, I'll actually say, I think it was, it had to have been like my sophomore year. I think he and my mom got so you registered for class like the spring before the fall, and then your school schedule with your fee bill was sent over the summer, and I was living with my sister when my parents got my fee bill, and my dad wrote me a letter and he's like, you signed up for tennis class. You already know how to play tennis. Why did you sign up for this? And so I remember having to call him to tell him like we had 2 PEs that were required. So I think I took like social dancing and tennis. Nice. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, again, my parents did not go to college, so he did not kind of understand, like, you had a course catalog and you had to take certain classes. He was just like, you already know how to play tennis. And so I always thought that was really funny because he was sort of chastising me for my school schedule, and so, and then letters from my mom too that I still have. I'm trying to think, but I'm kind of to the point in life that I think the memories are more important.
Right.
And, you know, like, I still have a lot in the garage that we've had from my mom's house that I probably need to go through. Still, like, a couple bags of her old clothes that I will probably actually, people might come at me in the comments, but I'll probably throw them out more so than donating them. I mean, you know, they're probably still good, but I just still would rather not someone else wear them, you know, so.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah. But those are it for me. What about you? And I know that your situation's a little different. You know, your parents were divorced when you were young, so they're...
and it's also different because I kind of moved around.
Yeah.
So we lived in a lot of this. I lived in a lot of the same places for a long time, but like I don't have like my childhood home. I don't have like pictures and stuff like that are all like I kind of lost those from me moving around a lot as an adult. I kind of lost track of a lot of my stuff, and I don't know, like I feel like with my dad and my stepmom, they are at such a minimalist point in their lives that like there really isn't any sentimental thing I can think of that I would want to keep of theirs. Well,
they've even said that.
Yeah.
You know, I think they said that from the work Shelley did with her parents' home back in the day when they passed, and then your dad most recently with your mama and your papa, like having to clean out the Zachary house and whatnot. They were both like, we don't want to do this to you and Sarah and Wes and Tyler. So I think they've been working on that. So,
and my mom, you know, my mom's single and she lives alone in her house, and she has also you know, lives a pretty minimalistic life as well. And I mean, like, there are things of hers that, like, she maybe took from my grandma's house that I would want. Like, she has those, I think she still has those glasses with the leather, like the pleather looking koozies around them that you had like in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, when you were like lounging, like.
Yeah. And it just like always reminds me of my grandma's house. And,
well, and sadly, your grandmother's house was flooded in the great 2016 flood. So she lost probably a lot of anything she wanted.
Most of her
first floor belongings.
Yeah, the first floor was completely wiped out, which was where all of her stuff was. So, and there might be some, like, I think my mom still has like the plates that we had when we were living in Azalea Lakes. I think maybe she does. She said she hasn't been listening to the pod lately, so she may not be able to I might have to ask her, but
we'll ask her Thursday.
Yeah, so I don't really know. I think maybe there'll just be like pictures that I'll want of theirs, or there's just really, maybe at one point I would have wanted stuff, but like I think over time, like they just gotten rid of so much stuff. So I'm just kind of.
I think that's your situation, because I will also admit, and Rebecca, if she's listening, because she randomly still listens, she will often message me that she's still going through things that she took in bulk from my mom's house and be like, hey, do you want, and she will not even finish writing and I'll be like, no, I don't want it. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. Right. So again, and it's hard, and I definitely know and understand when people don't want to let go of things and leave things as they are, because I feel like that is part of grieving, is holding on to those things and that person or whoever. But it is also okay to be like, it's just a thing. It's my memories are more important than this like spoon or whatever it might be.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be a show that we're doing in December. We're going to be talking more about being sentimental, so maybe we can get more into that in that episode. But I'm kind of with you on. I don't know. It's not like you want to get rid of the memory. It's not like, to me, it's like when the physical things aren't the memories. It's it's what you remember, obviously. But
I will tell you one funny thing I still have of my mom's is I have her last purse and her wallet, and there was $200 in it, so I split it with my sister.
Nice.
I don't know what she did with her 100, but that last 100 of mine is still in the purse.
Oh, Tootie.
So in case you ever need $100, just remember it's there as an emergency, but I have not spent it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I have not spent it.
That feels like a test.
No, it's not. It's just, it's like I've been like, I always look at her purse and I'm like, do I need $100 right now? And I'm like, no, I don't. It can stay there. So it's been there for 5 years.
I think if you were ever to use that $100 bill, I think the only way to properly use that $100 bill in your mother's memory is to use it at the casino.
Or bingo.
Yeah.
Yes, we can go and play bingo one day for Mercedes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually really cute.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it.
All right, so
Carrie goes to school. It's her first day. She narrates that the first day of school was usually exciting for her, but since her mom died, Carrie is worried everyone will be weird around her. She runs into Donna LaDonna, who, by the way, Chloe Bridges, Adam Devine's boo. They just had a baby together.
Just had a baby.
She runs into Donna LaDonna, the most popular girl in school and Carrie's frenemy.
Donna LaDonna.
Great. I mean, kind of a great name. Donna tells Carrie she is always there for her if she needs her, but it comes across as very fake. Hence, frenemy. Carrie approaches her real friends, Mouse, Maggie, and Walt. They assure Carrie that her mom dying is going to be old news and people will forget about it sooner than later. Which sounds insensitive the way I wrote it, but like they're saying it in a way that makes her feel better. Because the big news is that there's a new kid, a guy named Sebastian Kidd, which another great name. Just as Carrie hears his name, Sebastian enters the scene. He walks up to Carrie and says hello. He tells Carrie he was sorry to hear about her mom and says he'll see her around. It's now clear that Carrie and Sebastian already know each other. A little later, Carrie tells Maggie and Mouse that she and Sebastian met last year at the swimming club, which is a swimming club. That's like a YMCA. Is that like what that's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Sounds like a New York thing. When I hear swimming club, I'm like, you just mean like the Y? Like a community pool? Mouse then admits that she met a guy over summer and she lost her virginity to him. Carrie now realizes she's the only virgin amongst her friends when Maggie admits she had sex, but not with Walt, her boyfriend. Very clear. Mouse is Charlotte, Maggie is Samantha, Walt is Miranda. I already clocked it. With Mouse kind of being very like optimistic and maybe a little bit naive about love and boys and romance, while Maggie is very like very upfront, very extroverted, very unfiltered, and I believe Maggie is Samantha's cousin, and that's how she gets integrated into the show. Group. I'm pretty positive that's how it works.
Gotcha.
And Walt seems to be kind of like the one that has like the real conversations with Carrie. There was a lot of scenes with them two just kind of walking and talking, and it seemed very much like they have a more intimate friendship, not like in a romantic way, but much like how Carrie and Miranda are, which I would say Carrie and Miranda are like the besties among the four women.
Yeah.
Carrie approaches Sebastian and they begin to talk. She has a flashback to last year when they were hanging out at the swimming club. They kissed once, but then Sebastian told her that his family was getting a pool, which means he'd stop coming to the club. That was the last time she had seen him until that day, until today. Carrie's dad and the school's guidance counselor both feel that Carrie needs a change in her life, but something to take her mind off losing her mother, maybe a change of scenery. They enroll Carrie into an internship program at a law firm in Manhattan. Carrie is beyond excited. Her dreams are finally coming true. Carrie asks what she'll be doing. She asks if she has to do any typing because she's not very good at it. Funny, since that becomes her whole job, and her whole thing in Sex and the City is that she's always typing into her laptop. The night before Carrie's first day at the law firm, she asked Dorrit one last time where she hid their mom's purse. Dorrit insists that she doesn't have it. Carrie begins to look around her room, and when Dorrit reacts to Carrie picking up a giant stuffed animal, she knows that's where she hid it. She finds her mom's purse, but it is now ruined by, I think it's like acrylic paint. Something exploded inside of in the bear. Carrie is livid, but decides to put her creativity to good use and creates a design for the purse and puts her name on it. It's Carrie's first day at the law firm, and she isn't too thrilled about the job itself, but is beyond excited to be in Manhattan. While on her break, she goes to Century 21.
Oh my God, those stores were a nightmare.
So was it just like an everything department store?
Yes, and it was just, it's like...
Because it just looked like there was everything.
It was just massive, and it was semi-organized, but not really. It was definitely, I will say, a store that foreign visitors would go to because it was like semi-designer stuff.
Gotcha.
But cheap. So it wasn't like going to Barney's or Neiman Marcus to get really expensive stuff. You could go to Century 21 and be like, oh, I got a Prada, but it's like their discounted Prada.
Gotcha.
I'm making up that. So don't come at me if that's actually not. Prada was not in Century 21, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. She runs into a stylish young woman named Larissa. The two hit it off and try on clothes together. Carrie lies about her age and tells Larissa she just moved to New York. Larissa invites Carrie to a party later that night. She decides to go and meet Larissa. She experiences her first night out in New York. Carrie learns that Larissa is the style editor for Interview magazine. Back in Connecticut, the back-to-school dance is in full effect. Sebastian is looking for Carrie, but Donna intervenes and the two begin hanging out. After a little while, Carrie realizes what time it is and gets the last train to Connecticut. Walt picks her up at the train station after giving Maggie a ride home from the dance. In the parking lot, they see Sebastian in his car with Donna. Sebastian gets out of the car to talk to Carrie, but Donna interrupts, saying they need to leave. Carrie comes home to police cars in front of her house and assumed her dad called them since Carrie didn't come home. Not the case. Carrie's dad didn't even notice Carrie was gone because Dorrit went missing. Dorrit arrives home the next morning as if nothing happened. Carrie finally has had enough and begins to tell off Dorrit. They have a big fight and they both storm off. Later that day, Mouse comes to Carrie's house. Apparently the guy that Mouse met over the summer has now ghosted her, and she is heartbroken. It seems he was only interested in having sex with her and stopped talking to her once he got what he wanted. Carrie and Dorrit make up and realize that they are both in pain and are just dealing with it in different ways. Carrie, along with Dorrit and her dad, finally decide to start packing up their mom's stuff. Carrie finds a stack of her mother's journals, most of which are blank. She ties her hair into a ponytail and begins to write in her journals at her desk, much like she would type on her laptop on Sex and the City. End of episode.
End of episode.
So, it's 1984, so, like, great music, great references,
Clothes.
Great fashion. It's Sex and the City coded, so there's going to be tons of great clothes, great hair, great music, so for that alone, if you want to watch it, sure. But what I'm going to say is there was just nothing about the show that stood out to me. It was just kind of a very generic. It didn't feel like Sex and the City. It just kind of felt like a generic, like, high school show.
Yes.
And which is fine if that's what you like. I like I like high school shows. We both have that's our guilty pleasure is cheesy high school shows. This just didn't. I think this one took itself a little too seriously, and it just fell a little flat to me. Like, even with shows that I'm like, I know that we're not going to keep watching, there's a part of me that's like, I want to watch the next episode. This was not one of those shows.
No.
Not for me, at least.
And for me, I will say one of the things about Sex and the City that always kind of felt like a constant contradiction was of course, how Carrie was affording to live in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Wearing the clothes she did, where she did, with the job she had. That being said, it seems that this Carrie in the Carrie Diaries her family has money. Obviously, she's in a very nice home that has a community swimming pool. She has money. Her mom has a full closet of clothes. So, to me, the struggles and part of the lore of Carrie Bradshaw, it has always been like the struggle to have money and to have access. I mean, until she met Big and became all of a sudden a millionaire once they got married. But this to me made it too easy. And It's funny that the showrunner felt like she wanted to take this angle, where I think I would have actually have been more interested in seeing a Sex and the City teen Carrie Bradshaw and her upcoming, coming from
living in an apartment,
and struggling with her mom and their relationship. And
I don't even think she's from Connecticut.
That was it too. I was like, I don't know if they ever have said where she was from in the series at all. So them deciding Connecticut seemed very random because Connecticut, of course, is very wealthy. How
could she have never gone to New York before until she was 21 if she lived a train ride away from Manhattan?
It's like those kind of things that I'm just like, this does not make sense. And I know you were taking some, liberalness with the stories and their connections, but I'm like, those are like so easy to not have contradict. And so that was my struggle with it as a devoted Sex and the City watcher back then and still today, that I just really can't get behind watching much more of this, if ever again, because it just bugs me, because I'm like, if you were part of the original series, like, make Carrie who she is and was, and why do you have to change it? Because to me, Carrie was already, I'm not going to say interesting. I mean, she was interesting because I watched her. I kind of understood, her struggles.
Yeah, little is known about Carrie Bradshaw's life before the events of Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't. I don't think they actually ever say where she was from. I mean,
it maybe seems like she grew up in New England at least, because she went to Brown. She went to Brown University. The actual character went to Brown University in Sex and the City, not in Carrie Diaries.
Oh, I don't remember them ever saying where she went to college, because that's a pretty expensive, that's like an Ivy League college.
So I don't know if, and she said she moved to Manhattan after she graduated from Brown when she was 21.
Oh, well, because the other thing is she mentioned,
I don't know.
In the David Duchovny episode, kind of later in the series, I think she mentions her high school. But obviously, it could be a run-of-the-mill named high school.
Season 6, Carrie reconnects with another high school boyfriend named Jeremy. She mentions that they never had sex because they were young and wanted to wait. But she also mentions having sex underneath a ping pong table.
Yeah. See, I do remember.
And she was so poor when she first moved to New York that she would purchase Vogue instead of dinner. So she came to New York with no money.
Right.
Yeah.
So, those are the little things that I'm like... Yeah. Show where that came from, because I mean, I'm not going to talk about like that. I mean, I will just say, kind of probably similarly to Carrie, I came from a very lower middle class, and my mom definitely instilled in us to get an education. So hence maybe why Carrie went to Brown, to be able to support yourself and do your dreams. And, you can't rely on anyone but yourself. I mean, kind of in Carrie's situation, her father sadly left and they didn't have anything. In my situation, sadly, my father passed away. So I definitely didn't have anyone that was handing me fistfuls of cash.
Yeah,
so,
it's just really interesting that they went this route. I mean, it's really interesting that, I mean, I understand what the showrunner was saying, the first half of it. Like, yes, you're probably going to have to take some liberties with the backstory so you can create a serialized TV show, but to like completely change the character's backstory with what little is known about her backstory, to then change all of it, feels a little extreme. It feels unnecessary. Like it feels like, yes, like I agree. I feel like it would have been way more interesting. I think they thought that New York had to be a part of it. I think that's probably why they wrote it the way they did. The whole idea of New York being the fifth character, I think they were like, no, if the show isn't in New York, then no one's going to care, which I don't agree with. I think people would have liked seeing a Carrie when she was 16. And I mean, the girl, Anna Sophia Robb, played a great Carrie. I mean, like, I'll give that to her. I mean, like, she's a great actress, and I like her as an actress, but...
And I don't know how they introduced Samantha. I know she's like a friend of one of a cousin of one of the friends. In the movies, she explicitly says she met Samantha at CBGB's.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you can't get that detail right. Like, you're driving me crazy.
Right.
Like,
and
so,
it would just be hard for any Sex and the City fan to watch this, especially if you're a true, like, diehard, like you are, like the lore, the stories. Like I said, I can ask you any Sex and the City question, you almost always have the answer. And I consider myself like a casual Sex and the City fan, and even I was like, yeah, I don't think I can watch this. Like, I now know too much.
Yeah.
Maybe if I would have just caught it, and maybe when I was like maybe in high school, I would have caught it and maybe watched it, but for the most part, I wasn't into the whole like rich kid life TV shows. I was more into like the My So-Called Lives and the Freaks and Geeks. I was more into like those kind of high school shows.
I wonder if later they are going to focus more on the life in New York where she's working at Interview and stuff.
I think so, yeah.
And they were It's not super close in timing because The Devil Wears Prada came out in 2006.
Okay.
And this came out in 2013. And I'm wondering if they were trying to ride that
Gossip
little bit
Girl,
of
maybe. Gossip Girl
Gossip
set in New
Girl,
York. Yeah.
Was it the Diaries of a Shopaholic with
Yeah.
Isla Fisher? Kind of all those quirky
Uptown
little
Girls,
like Girl in New York stories.
I think you're probably right.
And obviously Devil Wears Prada was just a juggernaut that just and its sequel is coming out next year, I think. So, I wonder if it was trying to ride that wave of cutie little girl going to New York here's my cute story. So anyway.
Yeah, so I don't think I can recommend this one. This one was just kind of felt very, it's kind of funny because we're ending our month with a show that we didn't really like, but hey, it has to happen at some point. So before we go, I almost completely forgot. So before we go, it is the last episode of the month.
Yeah.
So therefore, we are beginning a new month of December, and we are possibly just going to make this our December tradition because we loved it so much, doing it so much last year. Getting all of this finality from, kind of start. We're a show about pilots, but, every show must come to an end, whether it's planned or unplanned. And so December, just like we did last year, we're going to do series finale month where we are going to be exclusively doing series finales for shows that we did this year.
Yeah.
I think that's what we decided, not just doing random series finales,
but ones we've
done already, and the ones that we did in 2025. I'm going to have questions for you about maybe some of your favorite episodes, some of your favorite TV shows. We're going to be talking about our year. We're going to be talking about the TV shows. We got 4 really great shows that we watched 2 of them the other night, and both fantastic episodes.
Yeah.
And then we're doing 2 more, also going to be fantastic episodes. I'm very excited. So you will be expecting that. Even though we're going out of town, we're still going to be posting episodes because December is an important month for us, just for series finale month. It's just something new. And yeah, we're both really excited about it.
Yeah. I'm excited.
All right, that wraps up this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this podcast on. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. You can also follow us on Instagram at WeJudgePilotPod. We're also on Facebook. You can leave us a comment, suggest a show for us to watch, or leave some emojis in the comments. What you got?
All right, I got the emoji of the girl with the curly hair.
I got an emoji. How about a thumbs down? Because the show sucked.
Stop.
I'm just being stupid.
Well, you can post that one. Statue of Liberty, the apple, any of the fashion ones, especially the purse, because that one was such a big deal, or the sunglasses. The typewriter, if there's a typewriter, the scales for the law firm where she works, the book for her journal, swimming, the family, school, and the teddy bear. Those were just some of the ones. But again, whichever ones you think remind you of this show. All right. Well, we are going to head out, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.